at some of these comments. Awful. So this is the chief of staff at Halo Studios, Melissa Boone. She has her pronouns. It's her profile. She loves rainbows. I like rainbows, even though I'm not a part of the LGBT HD LED TV crew. I've liked rainbows since before they took my rainbow. Okay? It's all good. I don't care. It doesn't bother me in the least. What bothers me is this shit from Yorch Torch Games. And I quote, Halo is an incredibly male-dominated franchise. But for some reason, Microsoft thinks it's a grand idea to have someone like this as the chief of staff for the studio in charge of the franchise. Get woke, go broke. Imagine everything you don't like is always woke. Then I said, and I don't quote because I said it, why are we assuming that they were just hired to be inclusive? That's not always the case. More so these days, I'll admit, absolutely. This person says, I miss seeing normal-looking people at the heads of these kinds of departments at video game studios. What does it matter what somebody looks like? It's their profile, their thing, whatever. I don't have an issue with it. This, I have an issue with. Or, when it is overdone, when there is proof that some companies are doing it on purpose just to be inclusive. That I don't agree with on that flip side. Because to me, I'm always going to stand by the best person for the job, period. I don't care if they're all like this. If you so happen to be the top 10 people, for a crew of 10 that you need, you just so happen to all be like that, well, then I'd find that suspicious. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be triggered by it. As long as the job is being done, Columbia University in the city of New York, they are a problem solver, process builder, strategic thinker, executor, integrator, and communicator, and an advisor. So they have a huge interest and passion in military science fiction games and lore. And that's great. I think it's wonderful. Now, we can roll our eyes sometimes and say, oh boy, here we go, the pronoun thing. Me, I don't do the pronoun thing. I just do they. And I've been doing that since the 80s. It's neutral. It's not to be nice. It's not to be anything. It's just how I speak. English is not even my first language. So if I'm in a lineup and I'm being addressed, this happens never. Because when I go out, there's nobody around. Because the times of day that I go out and there's just no lineup. I'm just using this as an example. Oh, who's next? Waiting for a table at a restaurant or something. And I would point, oh, they were here first. Now, the word they for a singular person may not be proper, but no one's ever looked at me weird and went, huh? Do I miss the days where I could just be like, he was here, she was here? Maybe, but I never used those pronouns anyways. It's always been they. And if I'm in a conversation with somebody such as Melissa, I would never say, hey, she, so what were you thinking about there? Her, let me know when you're done. I'm going to head off to lunch. Nobody talks like that. If I'm talking to somebody else about Melissa, I could be like, oh, did you hear what they said earlier? Did you hear what she said? She ain't going to be around to hear what I said. So how is she going to know that I accidentally mispronounced her? So that's the part of the pronoun game. I don't ride with that. But if your name's Melissa, that's cool. That's easier for me to remember than the multiple pronouns some people have. As you can tell, I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to this stuff. But I don't just automatically lash out, get angry, boycott this, get woke, go broke. It makes you a brain-dead dingleberry shitstain to think that way. Just like the people on Twitter that are like, yeah, so I was on an airplane and my pilot wasn't white. And I was like, oh my God, DEI, please, I hope we don't get killed. And I'm like, really? Really? Does that happen? I think it does. I mean, I haven't looked at the statistics, but it's definitely a thing in the sense of it being a topic of conversation amongst people as of late in this time period in my life. I've never heard anybody else complain about stuff like that before, right? If I was finding out again that certain pilots that are flying a plane and your life is in their hands, literally, and they were just hired because of their gender, their race, yeah, that would suck. I'd be like, I'm sorry, if you got a 79 and you got in just because of what you look like, and the guy that got a 93 didn't get it because he's white, yeah, that bothers me. For obvious reasons, because your life is on the line. Nobody's life is on the line here, but still, that would be woke, technically, if we found out that the ulterior motive behind their hiring was because of what they represent. I don't even understand why there's so much. I mean, I get the frustration. Trust me, I've been pretty critical and I've poked some fun at some stuff because it's all in good fun. I poke fun at everything, everybody. Nobody gets a freebie. Actually, everybody gets the freebie because my jokes are free. I'm not a stand-up comedian. I can't charge for my material. Shit. I'm not Kevin Hart. I'm not Dave Chappelle or Bill Burr. And I wish I was these people, but I'm not. So that's just my take. Why don't more people give the benefit of the doubt that the people that are hired to do whatever job were hired because they were simply the best person for the job? They went through the job interview and they passed. They got the job. And so long as the job is being done well and the franchise isn't going down the toilet, and yeah, sure, let's throw a joke in and let's make sure not every outfit, not every weapon skin, not every flag, not every tree and planet, the sparks from the gunshots aren't all rainbow 100%. Okay, you see what I'm saying? That's where then that becomes kind of woke at that point. Because we're like, I see what you're doing there. Get that shit out of the games, right? Pride Month, fine. You want to add, like Call of Duty does, you add a rain. Look at me. But this has nothing to do with that. You want to add rainbow skin? Sure, no problem. But I'm using that as an extreme. Obviously, I've never seen a game where just everything's fucking rainbows. But that would be an extreme example of, okay, now we see them pushing that narrative into the game, and that's what a lot of people are not okay with. Just kind of like Ghost of Yotai, if that's the name of the game, the successor to be for Ghosts of Tsushima. Well, the person's gender fluid, and people are like, uh-oh, the game's going woke again. But there were no signs at all that this game was being affected by the person's real life situation. The leaves weren't colored rainbow. Her sword wasn't glittering unicorn shit. You know what I mean? Like, so again, why does that matter? But I do get what people are saying. When it's overdone, it's everywhere constantly, because at that point, it's being pushed, and then that actually ends up having the reverse effect of what this group of people want to achieve. It ends up having people more angry than they ever were to begin with, because before they never really heard about all this stuff. Now it seems like it's everywhere. Trust me. So from issue to issue, or situation to situation, I might address it specifically differently. I did a little quick research on that, and I didn't see anything that was like, oh, that's why she got hired. Like, it wasn't one of those things at all. It's pathetic that we've come to this, that now we're bickering and talking like this on social media. It really is. It's fucking wild. But there you have it. let me know down below and keep it down to a minimum. You know what I'm saying? Because being on YouTube, I got to bite my tongue a lot to the point where sometimes I got to swallow it and shit it out. Okay? Because of how sensitive this stuff is. And if you go against the grain just a little bit, you're slightly critical. You know, YouTube comes after you, and it's hog wild. There's a live stream I talked about where I didn't even say anything about the vaccine for COVID because it actually didn't even exist at the time. And my channel got a strike and the video got taken down, and it showed me the timestamp as to where I said something controversial. And I went and looked at it. There's nothing there. Overly sensitive. It's crazy. That's enough rambling and ranting from me. Thumbs up as always if you liked the video. It does greatly help support that channel with the algorithm. And trying to make me more relevant in search results, which I don't think that'll ever happen, but whatever. I'm having fun. And if you didn't like the video, go ahead. Give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half. And I'll twist it. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and perhaps I shall see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.